Today I'm going to be demonstrating and showing off the new Arthrex Mini Rail system that they have available from their product line. And what makes this system a little bit different from most of the other systems out there is its versatility. And I'm going to demonstrate that today, showing you the different parts that are in this set. There's what are called traveling clamps. So this is a traveling clamp. This is our rail that the traveling clamp will travel upon to give us some distraction or give us compression. And that's what makes this unique from most other systems out there. And we're going to go through a couple cases where we're doing a Brachymetatarsia case, lengthening a short metatarsal. I'll demonstrate in the lab how that goes on. And I'll show you also how we can use a mini rail system to help heal an ulceration to the great toe. So let's dive right into this here and go through the different parts from the set. I'm going to try to do my best to explain this. As with any new instrumentation that's available, there's a lot of different products that go along with it, parts and pieces, and you have to understand how they work to get the full functionality of that system or that set that you'll be using. So this demonstrates what the clamps are. And as I said, this system is a little bit different because you don't have a fixed rail or a fixed X-fix that you're working with. You have multiple rails, and that's what these are. These are the rails. There's several different lengths. You have a 150 millimeter, 100 millimeter, a 75 mm, and a 50 mm. I'll show you that small one here. We don't use a small one too often, but you'll have that as an option. So the way this works is you're starting with a fixed rail, and then you're building upon that with these end clamps and universal traveling clamps. So what's the difference between universal traveling, standard inline end clamp? We're going to quickly go through that so you understand how this set works. I'm going to start this demonstration with the 150 millimeter rail that we have, and then I'm going to pull out the standard end clamp. So here's our standard end clamp that is a 90 degrees, and what that means is this goes on the end of our rail. It's going to thread on there, and it'll lock in place with this bolt on the end once you have it threaded on. And something that you'll have to be aware with on this system is on the end, you're going to see a little circular area there, and that's going to line up with this indentation on the end of the rail. So that's going to go in, you're going to thread a little bit, and you're going to stop when that circular part of the end clamp is lined up with the indentation in the rail. Once you have it in there, you'll lock it into place with your bolt that's on the end, and there is a driver that's available to do that. You'll insert this driver, and that's going to lock it into place. And this can be built at different times. You can build it as you're working, or you can also build it ahead of time. So we're going to put our 90-degree end clamp on. There's also a standard inline end clamp. I'll show you on the opposite end. See, there's two little circular indentations. That's going to thread on the same way. It'll thread onto your rail, and you'll line it up with those small holes that are there. And again, this one has a little bit of a different clamp in place. You'll use an Allen key, and it has a threaded portion on that bolt. So what's different about this is, so this is our standard the standard 90-degree clamp. This one is a standard inline. So you see the difference. This one's going inline. This will give you some ability to have your pins in line with your system, as opposed to the pins here being at 90 degrees or perpendicular to your rail. So I'm going to take this off for our demonstration here and show you what the other traveling clamps look like. Okay, so we have a standard traveling clamp and a universal traveling clamp. So what's the difference? Well, pretty self-explanatory when you think about it. The universal one is going to give us some versatility on angulation of our pins, right? So we're going to put this on our rail. This is our traveling clamp. Now, what you're going to have to understand about this system is there's some complexity to how it works and functions, which is a little bit different from most X-fixators out there. But that's what gives it the versatility, and that's what I'm going to show you here. So see this little door? This little door opens and closes. So this traveling clamp, that's why it's called a traveling clamp, because it travels on this rail. It'll go onto the rail, clamp down. Now it won't move. So we clamp that door down, and it's going to make it fix into place. But you'll also see there's a small circle there, and that little hole is where we can use a driver to lock this when we're all done. So you have a temporary lock from that door, and then this small driver will go in there, and that's going to completely lock it when we're all done. So what makes this universal is we have some movement here. So if we're trying to hit our metatarsal from this angle or this angle, we can move this. That's going to lock in place. And once we put our pins in, our half pins, that'll lock in place with this bolt here on the end. So that will give us the versatility. That is a traveling universal clamp. So we're going to slide that one off. This is the standard traveling clamp. These can go on either way. So you might have one on this way. We lock that down. There's that little door on there that we're going to lock down. That locks it, stops it from moving. So we've got 2 pins that'll go in there, and then we'll have to throw this universal on if we think we can't get the pins in our metatarsal and we have to angle a little bit, and that'll give us that versatility to angle it, and that's what makes this nice. And these will slide on either way. It gives you a lot of different options for where those pins have to be thrown in. If we don't like it that way, we can also turn it this way. They slide on very easily. So let's talk about now what type of pins can go into these traveling clamps, so you have an understanding on the fixation. So we have multiple options. We have a 1.6 threaded wire, 3/0 bone screw, and these come in multiple lengths. I'm going to just show you the lengths, or read off the lengths. You have a 60, an 80, 100, 20, 30, and 40 thread lengths, right? So you've got different lengths of pins, and you also have different thread lengths for different size bones, or if you're in your midfoot, or moving out to a metatarsal, that gives you some versatility there, as we talked about versatility. And these will slide right into our holes on the clamp, and they'll lock in place. But the way the system works is you have to use your driver to lock these in. There's some tension on those bolts, so they don't easily fall out. So you'll have to use this T driver to lock that into place. We have it locked in there. Same thing for this smaller one, it can go in there. Now what's also nice is when you're getting out into the toe, that's where you'll use the smaller 1.6 threaded wires. So there's a 2/0 or 1.6 threaded wires. And what's nice about those is when we look at that universal traveling clamp, I'll go back to I'm going to show you a new one so you have an understanding of this. You have the holes for your pins, right? And that's where these will go in. But if you turn that 90 degrees, now you've got a flat edge where you can put these pins in. And what's nice about these pins, as I had said before, if you're doing a brachymetatarsia, you'll have to open that up. Remember, these are tension. They're harder to turn with your hand, so you have to use this T driver to open those up. What's nice about this 1.6 millimeter threaded wire is when you're doing a brachymetatarsial case and you're working on a toe, that's where you'll want to put these smaller wires. They can go into the toe as opposed to these larger pins. And if you see how this works, this is spring loaded, right? So you're going to tighten this up with your T driver and just get it to the point where these will fit in. Back it off a little bit so they're kind of tension fit from that spring, and that gives you the ability to kind of set it in there. We'll tighten it up a little bit. Now they're tension fit and they're going to stay in there, and we can slide it, put that into our toe. We like the position. It'll stay there. We can come in with another one. That'll slide in and go into the toe. Once it's into the toe, we can lock it off, and I'll demonstrate an example of how that works. So then let's talk about how we're going to get compression as well as how we will do distraction with this device. So we're going to leave these on. I'm going to clamp that door down on this one, clamp this door down on this one. Remember, these are 2 separate ones. We have our traveling clamp that's universal, and then we have our standard. So they can move, and to get them into different positions, lock them in. And this is where it's kind of interesting. We have 2 different drivers. Let's say instead of moving this in one unit, we want to do some compression, right? So we only want one of these to move because they're both traveling, but one's standard and one's universal. That's where we'll use the red handle. So this red handle has a hexagonal driver end, and if you look in line on those clamps, that's where that's going to fit through in line with the rail. It can move this one. See how that's going to move along the rail? But let's just say we want to move that one only. It can pass through. It's smooth at this portion. We're going to then engage into that portion of the traveling clamp and move that one. So now only that one's moving. It was distracting. Now I'm going to turn it counterclockwise to compress. So let's say we're prepping a midfoot. We've got these on. We're going to go first put this onto our midfoot, make some of our cuts, open it up, right? We'll distract it a little bit. We're going to open it up, do some more burring away, and then we're going to go in and compress it with this compression handle. But if you're doing something where you want both of these moving together, now there's a blue handle. So let's say these 2 are on an area of our midfoot where we're trying to get some motion from both of those to do some distraction on both sets of this device. Both of these traveling clamps are now moving at the same time. And where this comes into play is if you're doing a brachymetatarsial case, right? This one's in the toe, this one's in the end of the metatarsal, this one's fixed at the base of the metatarsal or your cuboid. You could use a different clamp, put one pin in the cuboid, one pin in the metatarsal. And if you've ever done these metatarsal lengthenings before, what's crucial is you need to keep that MPJ stabilized, because if you don't, when you start lengthening, that toe is going to either move medial or lateral on you as the MPJ gets compressed and forced. But if you've put 2 pins into the toe, as we were demonstrating before, and lock that toe and MPJ into a position, you can first come in with your red handle and you can get some distraction of that MPJ, bring that joint out to length. Now it's time to start doing our distraction on the metatarsal. We'll use the blue handle, and the blue handle is going to move the distal portion of our metatarsal, distal to where we made our osteotomy. It's going to move the traveling clamp on that end of the bone as well as the toe at the same time, and what that's going to do is move that toe in line with the bone that we're lengthening, and you won't get any contraction or migration of your toe. And that's how these will work. So remember, you have a blue handle and a red handle. The red handle is for moving one of the traveling clamps, the blue handle is for moving both of them. Got some other instruments on the tray, but this is really nice if you're throwing the pins into the toe. You could put those in first, or even the pins into the metatarsal, and what's nice about that is you can line those up. This will correspond to the holes in our traveling clamps. So just to review, we've got traveling clamps that are universal, standard, you've got an end clamp that's universal, and a standard end clamp as well as a 90-degree end clamp. I didn't go over this universal end clamp, but it's kind of the same way, right? It's an end clamp that goes onto the end of our rail system. Unlock it. So this universal end clamp, same thing, remember, it doesn't go in line, it goes on the end of the rail, and that'll just thread on there. Again, you have to get the thread lined up with your circular part before you lock this into place. That corresponds to that V. And what's nice about this is it just gives you some more versatility in terms of where you're firing that pin, right? So if you're back near the midfoot portion and you have to bend a little bit because the ankle's getting in your way, you could fire some pins into the navicular or the talus or your cuboid in that area, and then you can move out putting on your traveling clamps. Okay, well that demonstrates how we build this mini X-Fix. Now I'm going to jump in and show you on a cadaver just some simple applications on if we're doing a brachymetatarsial or lengthening, or I'm also going to show you an example of how we can remove an ulcer on the plantar aspect of the great toe and put this mini X-Fix on to keep this patient from bending their toe. You know, you can tell them to stay off of it, but they're still bending it. A lot of these diabetic patients, they don't have sensation, and with that neuropathy, they're still bending the joint, so we're going to show you how to put this on to stop that toe from moving. All right, so let's jump right into this and show you how this works. So first we're going to line our fixator up over the 4th metatarsal. We use our fluoroscopy to make sure. I usually like to put a K-wire or guide wire over the 4th metatarsal. I marked my cuneiform bone, and I also marked the metatarsophalangeal joint, and then we're going to make a dotted line across the metatarsal. So before we do any osteotomies, we're going to apply the mini X fixator, and we'll put one half pin into the base of the cuneiform. We'll line our X-Fix up with metatarsal, and then we'll put another pin into the shaft of the 4th metatarsal, and we're going to put that distal to where we're going to do our osteotomy. So we can either put a pin in the base of the 4th or in the cuboid. I use the cuboid here. Now, just to confirm that we're in the shaft of the metatarsal, you can use a small needle, like an 18 gauge needle or a spinal needle, and that'll help you to guide yourself to find the central portion of the metatarsal. So now we have our next pin into the metatarsal, and now we're going to put one into the digit, because when you're lengthening, you also want your 4th toe to move in line with your distraction, because if not, that toe can dislocate either dorsally, medially, laterally, and I've even had them go plantar. So as you can see here, the versatility of this system allows us to precisely move that clamp to find the 4th toe. And we put a smaller pin into the base of the phalanx of the 4th toe. And then we're not going to tighten these completely, but we can use this T-clamp to loosen, and we're going to just set it so that the tension of that clamp allows us to put our half pin in. So we're going to put a second one into the cuneiform, and then we're going to move out, put another one into the shaft of our 4th metatarsal. You can see that's what we have here. So now we have 2 into the cuneiform, 2 into the shaft of the metatarsal, and that's going to be spanning the site that we're going to be distracting. And we're also discussing here, if you want to distract your 4th toe at the same time, you can use a longer fixator. We don't have a longer bar on. We have the shorter one on now, but you do have the ability to put a longer one on. If you think about this, your toe is going to be a lot shorter than you typically would have here. So the toe would probably line up with this rail that we're using now, but you could use a longer one so that you are moving your 4th toe in line with your distraction at the same time. So as your metatarsal grows, the 4th toe will move with it. I like to now make my osteotomy. Once that X-Fix is in place, we'll do our through and through cut through a small stab incision. It's great to use the Arthrex MIS spur to make that osteotomy. The osteotomy is cut, and then we're going to put the device in. This is the driver that's going to only move one of our traveling clamps, and that's going to give us the distraction. If we had another traveling clamp on a longer rail that's in the toe, we could move the toe and the metatarsal at the same time so that we're distracting our osteotomy as well as distracting the toe. So remember, you want to do a little bit of compression first and then you start your distraction. So a rare application, but what would be interesting is to use this on an ulcer. So commonly we have plantar ulcers on the first MPJ. So let's just say that's the ulcer. We're going to do a V to Y. So we're going to excise the ulcer and take this V, move it to that, and it becomes the Y. So we would excise around the ulcer, which is out and it won't heal. So we will use the mini external fixator to hold their foot, actually their great toe, in position to stop it from bending, which will allow this to heal. So it's kind of a, I don't want to say overkill for the problem, but if you send your diabetic patient home with this without stabilizing it, they're going to walk. More so even than walking, they're going to bend the great toe. So even if they're not walking, if they're just bending their great toe, it's going to move our flap. It's going to bend the joint. See, anytime they bend the joint, it's going to distract that. So what we're going to try and do is stabilize that with a mini X fixator. So now we'll size up our mini rail, and you can see on this we have a universal end clamp as well as a traveling end clamp, and that'll give us some more versatility on lining up the X-Fix with the proximal phalanx as well as with the metatarsal. And then you can see we have a drill guide that will allow us to insert the half pins first into the metatarsal so we have a nice secure fit. We can use the fluoroscopy to make sure we've lined them up properly. We use the drill guide and we know they'll fit properly within our universal traveling clamp. And then once we have those pins inserted, we can put our X-Fix on and see how it lines up. So now we have it on the first metatarsal, then we line it up with the proximal phalanx. We'll put the other one in. And really, we're not going to be distracting or compressing with this. We're just using it to hold the toe so that the patient's not bending it. Good, second pin's in, toes held in position. So really, look, this didn't take us long, 10 minutes, and we hopefully reduced the pressure to an ulcer that's been present for months to try to get it to heal. So if you have any questions about this new Arthrex Mini Rail fixator, please drop it in the comments section below and I'd love to help answer them.